Hello, happy Wednesday. This is Miss Sharon from Newcastle Public Library, and today we're going to imagine their story. And we're going to talk a little bit about some nonfiction as well, because we have a holiday coming up. A holiday. This is one of my favorite books, The Holiday Ring, and it was compiled by Adelin Corrigan, and it was one I always used to check out of the library when I was a kid. So a little about Independence Day. That's a holiday coming up on Saturday, July 4th, and we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. And who are the governed? The governed are you and me. So we give the government consent to govern. So, Independence Day, it's the birthday of the United States and our greatest national holiday. It commemorates the day, July 4th, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was adopted by the Continental Congress that were meeting in Philadelphia. And what state is Philadelphia in? That's right, Pennsylvania. So there's a wonderful place you can visit, Independence Hall, see the Liberty Bell. On July 8th, 1776, the Liberty Bell, with its prophetic inscription, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land," rang out from Independence Hall in Philadelphia to call all the people to hear the Declaration read aloud. Bells pealed all day and far into the night, and post riders carried the news to all the other states and to General Washington, encamped with his troops in New York. The rule of King George of Great Britain over the American colonies was ended. And so each Independence Day, each anniversary of the first Independence Day, it is well to reaffirm our faith in the rights Jefferson so brilliantly stated. We are glad that he included the pursuit of happiness as well as the rights of liberty and life. It is a time, too, to think of the men and women who, with faith and with courage and with sacrifice, engaged in a war against great odds, and they won a victory. Among the patriots whose stories can appropriately be read are, check them out, George Washington, John Hancock, Thomas Paine, Richard Henry Lee, Patrick Henry, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere, as well as Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, and John Adams, the young Frenchman Lafayette, and the Polish patriot Thaddeus Kosciuszko share in this valiant period of our history. So the 4th of July, the glorious 4th, as orators often proclaim, is celebrated with flags waving, bells ringing, and displays of fireworks arching into the sky. There are speeches and parades and picnics on hot July afternoons. Chicken to fry on the 4th of July is as traditional as turkey for Thanksgiving. And when preparations were made in 1826 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Independence Day, 91-year-old John Adams, one of our founding fathers and the second president of these United States, was asked to give a toast for the day, and his response was, "Independence now and independence forever," a sentiment we can reaffirm on each new birthday of our nation. Independence now and independence forever. And so The Holiday Ring by Adelin Corrigan. So it's a great book, talks about all the holidays throughout the year. So Pennsylvania has several signers of the Declaration of Independence, and among them are George Clymer and Benjamin Franklin. A great book here is The Remarkable Benjamin Franklin. He was quite a Renaissance man, and there's quite a few books here in the library about Benjamin Franklin and his accomplishments by Cheryl Harness. The Remarkable Benjamin Franklin. Robert Morris was also a signer from Pennsylvania. John Morton, George Ross, Benjamin Rush, and James Wilson, as well as George Taylor. So these men, to sign the Declaration of Independence, they put their lives on their line. They pledged each other their life, their fortunes in pursuit of liberty. And there was great risk in signing the Declaration of Independence. And on when we talk more about the revolution, I will tell you on Friday, dive into nonfiction, more about these valiant men who signed the Declaration of Independence. So who wrote the Declaration was Thomas Jefferson, and Life, Liberty, and the Pursuit of Everything by Myra Coleman. And just as you know, that Thomas Jefferson, being the writer of the Declaration, he did a lot of different things. His interest in architecture and expanding our country all the way to the Pacific Ocean. He was quite the Renaissance man as well. There's several books on George Washington that you can check out here at the library. And we will call Alexander Hamilton one of the founders too. So this is The Making of America, Alexander Hamilton by Terry Canfield. And Alexander Hamilton was George Washington's aide-de-camp. So quite an interesting character he was as one of the founders. And let's not forget, like we've talked about John Adams, but let's not forget the ladies, Martha Washington and Betsy Ross. And we'll talk more about Molly Pitcher and her contributions on Friday. And then the wonderful Abigail Adams, who wrote down history in her letters back and forth to John Adams. She was a witness to the Revolution and housed people in her Braintree, Massachusetts home and kind of kept the home fires burning while John Adams was off in Philadelphia, you know, for a good percentage of the war. She had her family, among them a future president, John Quincy Adams, to raise. But this is a fascinating young adult biography on Abigail Adams. Really an interesting lady. So let's not forget those ladies. So my friends, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And if we don't see each other before, have a happy 4th of July and be safe. And this is Miss Sharon from the Newcastle Public Library, and come on down and check us out. Take care. Bye-bye.